Do you ever get overwhelmed when you look at an eyeshadow palette and there's just so many options of what to do? Well, I know a lot of people are like that, so I'm making this series to help you out. If you want to see how to create an eyeshadow look using only one shade, then keep on watching. So for this first look of this series, I'm going to be using the Dragon Child palette by Makeup Monsters. It looks like this if you haven't already seen it. And for the shadow that I'm going to be using today, I chose this absolutely stunning teal blue color. I think it's so gorgeous, and I really think that it's going to have a great impact on your eyes. It's going to really make your eyes pop and stand out. And I know that this palette might look intimidating to some just because there are so many different colors that don't really go together. And so I wanted to start this series for those people that have a lot of palettes that they don't really know what to do with. So you could just pick one color and focus on that and make a whole look out of it. So let's just get started. I'm going to be priming my eyes using the MAC paint pot. It looks like this. And I'm going to be using this on a brush and just pat it all over my lid. And I'm gonna make sure that I drag this out quite far because I want this to be a bit of a blown out look. So I wanna make sure I have primer everywhere. And I've already done my brows just to get a better idea of the shape that I'm working with the shadows. Going to set the upper part of my primer because I want there to be a lot of stick to the lid because we're going to be packing on a lot of matte colors, and so you don't want it to look patchy. But up here where I plan on blending, I want to set it because it'll blend easier. And so I'm just taking my Urban Decay shadow here and just patting that on just under my brow and in my upper part of my crease just to set this. So as you can see, I don't have my face makeup on right now, and that is because I've tried this palette before. I have a review on it. I'll link it up here if you want to check it out. But this palette has a lot of fallout, and so I'm expecting my face to be pretty much blue by the end of this, but don't worry, because we're going to take a makeup wipe and just clean that up. We're just going to start off by taking this color on a packing brush. This is from the Sephora collection. I'm gonna be going in like pretty heavy on this, just coating my brush and then putting it all over the bottom part of my lid, and then we'll work on blending it out afterwards. Make sure to really pack this pigment onto the lid, especially into the creases if you have hooded eyes or if you have troubles with creasing in general, because matte shades do tend to sometimes crease up a little bit throughout the day. So just make sure that everything is very saturated with color because you cannot really have too much. So now that we got the general shape of this down, I'm going to be going in with a smaller crease brush and we're going to put in the color in the crease and kind of blend out what we already have. So make sure to top off your brush, don't have too much pigment on, and just go slowly and build up to the shape that you want. I'm going to keep my shape today pretty round because we're going to be blowing out the lower lash line as well. So as you can see now, we have it a lot more blended out than we have on this side. And you can really tell how big of a difference that makes. If you really take your time and get a good gradient going, you don't need a transition shade. You don't need any other shades than just one shade, because you can do a lot with just one shade. You can actually make it look like you're having 3 different shades on your lid, depending on the depth of it. Okay, now that we have our upper lid done, I'm actually going to go off camera, finish my face, clean up all this mess that we have here, and then I'll come back and we'll do the lower lash line and liner and mascara and then finish up the look. So I'll be right back. Now that I have the rest of my face on, I'm going to go in and finish up with the lower lash line. We're going to put on some liner, some mascara, and maybe a little bit of glitter in the inner corner. Is that cheating? Does that mean I'm using more than one shade? Let me know down below. But I feel like I'm allowed to use a little bit of glitter if I want to. I'm going to just go in and smudging this out on my lower lash line by using tapping motions, because we do not want any more fallout now because we have our whole face done. And if you want to know what's on the rest of my face, I will leave it down below so you can just go look it up, so I don't have to tell you everything that's on here, because then we could be here until tomorrow. Alright, I'm just going to go back in with a clean brush and try to blend these edges out. So I think that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in with a liquid liner, and for that I'm going to use the same liner that I always use. This is by DHC. It's their liquid liner. I get this on Amazon. I will link it down below. This is the most precise, amazing liner that I've ever tried. Looks like this. Super precise. It's very black. It dries down extremely fast. And I'm going to, let's see, I don't want to make too much of a wing. I don't want it to surpass the edge that we have out here, but I'll probably make it out to about where the shadow stops. So I know a lot of you guys probably don't have this problem, but as you can see, I have hooded eyes, so this little line right here, if I make my wing above this, it's going to look extremely weird when I open my eyes, so I have to make sure that I go under where my fold is on my eye. And then when I connect it, I lean my head back, and I kind of do the same thing. As you can see, here's where the crease, where the line stops, so I make sure to drag my line underneath there. This is as even as I'm going to get it today. That was a struggle. So if you struggle with liner, that's okay, because we all do. Pretty much every time we do them. For the next step, I think I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Glide On Liner. I'm going to put this on my waterline, because I feel like it's going to match my shadows pretty much spot on. So I'm just going to pop this on here. So now I'm just taking the smaller brush that we used with the remainder of the product that we have on the blue and just smoking this out just on top of where I put the liner. Okay, for the last step, please let me know if you think this is cheating and if I should not be using this, but I'm going to be using my Stila glitter in the inner corner. Technically, this is not an eyeshadow. I mean, I guess it is. It's a liquid eyeshadow. But it's not a shadow from the palette that I used. So I'm going to be popping this in my inner corner. I'm going to be using a brush for that. And I like to just use one of these eyeliner brushes. This one's from Tarte. So I'm just going to take the product on my brush and pop it on my inner corner. Now we're going to go on to mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes, and then I'm going to be putting on my L'Oreal Lash Paradise that you've seen many times before. Obviously, if you want, you're more than welcome to put on fake lashes, but that is just not something that, I'm just not quite there yet. It's not something that I'm really too into. So this is the final look. I'm actually not going to be putting on any mascara on my lower lash line because I like the way that this looks right now and I don't want the blue color to be disturbed by black. So yeah, this is what we got. If there are any other shadows that you want me to do this with, please let me know. I will link the video where I showed you my palette collection up in the cards and you can check that out and then come back to me and let me know which shade and which particular palette that you want me to do a video on. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Dragon Child palette by Monsters. As you can see, I don't have my... Ignore that. If you want to check out my eyeshadow collection, and I'll see what I can give you.